Hello there, my name is Bruce Rain from Brankus Creations, and thank you very much for joining me. Two people? That's awesome. That's better than I expected this time of day. So it's kind of a different thing for me. I am testing out some things. So I've got a few things to test here. So number one, I have purchased a new wireless microphone system. Which is a Rode Wireless Go 2, and I'm using that at the moment. Here's my little lapel mic, and my little sort of portable thingy, who's a fudge thing. Who just gave me a thumbs down? Who just gave me a thumbs down? Hello to Frederick, hello to Scarlet Swordfish, hello to Sunday. So this is the new wireless microphone, who's a fudge thing. And with my little lapel mic, this thing fits in my pocket and the receiver is there. It's quite interesting because the new receiver is that size. That's how big the new receiver is. This is the old receiver I used to use for my other wireless mic system. So that's the future. So I got this new microphone thing here today. I don't expect the sound to actually be like much better or anything like that, but it is going to be a lot easier to use this just from it's a lot less equipment that I need to use and stuff like that. So I've got this here, it's just sitting in my pocket. I'm still using this as the backup microphone. I'll be very interested to get any feedback on your thoughts on the audio quality, picture quality, those sorts of things. I'm also using different live streaming software to what I have been using in the past. I'm using a software called Ecamm Live, which I've been experimenting with. I did quite a bit of experimenting yesterday. One of the big pluses of this software is it has very good multi-camera support, but it also has some of these lovely integrations with YouTube. So I can just come in and do something along these lines and just, have the interactivity with the comments coming up and then making the comments appear on screen. So I'm really happy with this so far. But as I say, I'll be very interested in your feedback. Let me know what you think of the quality of the audio. This is my backup mic. I'm going to switch it off for a sec. Okay, so now I'm just using a single microphone. I don't know if that made any difference or if it still sounds the same. Hello, NK Morpheus. Thank you for joining. So this is just now a single microphone, and then I can just flick this switch, and then I'm now working on the two microphones. And I just like to have that second microphone in case something goes wrong with this. It means I don't just suddenly go silent. Audio and video, good. Thank you very much. So one of the things I do really like about this new software is that it gives me more control over the quality of the video that I send out. What I don't like about it, and this is not a flaw, this is not a fault of the software, but what I don't like about it is I can't run it on my classic Mac Pro. It's a 3.1, which officially only goes up to El Capitan. And so I am now running this from a little 2012 MacBook Pro 15-inch sitting under the desk. And at the moment with this going out and broadcasting, I'm using around about 30% of CPU. So I'm pretty happy all in all. Look at that. Look at that. Hello, Steve. Welcome to the stream. So the microphone looks largely the same as the other one because it is very, very similar, but it's the portable thingy, and I can watch the levels over here and I can watch the levels over there. It's fascinating for me. Sorry about, it's not that fascinating for anyone else, but okay, so Sam Johnson, hello. Okay, well, I'm very pleased that it's sounding good, and I'm also really pleased that just this completely and totally impromptu live stream, I've got 15 people watching at the moment, as this says. I've got 4 likes and I've got 1 thumbs down. The thumbs down probably came from Jay, but if it was someone else, thank you. I enjoy the interaction either way. But of course, don't forget to
smash that like button.
If you want to. You don't have to, but if you want to. And I get a little when a like happens. I can see it go on the screen. Isn't that good? Bill G, hello. So anyhow, I got this delivery. So basically, I get I get sort of paid by Amazon in gift cards, and which means I have to spend that money on on Amazon products, and so I went and bought this new wireless thing because you know, the audio is something that was driving me bananas with the old setup, so I really wanted to try and improve it and make it a little bit easier for me. I am probably going to abandon the classic Mac Pro from down here and replace it with like a little 2012 Mac Mini or something like that, which I think will be perfectly suited to this purpose. I just need something with USB 3 and able to run kind of anything from Sierra onwards. So that's all good. The thumbs down came from my Quadra 800. So for those who don't know, Steve from Mac 84 has been playing with the Quadra 800, and I don't want to give anything away, but he may or may not have been doing some video stuff with a Quadra 800. You can reveal as much as you want here, Steve, if you want to. But from what I can gather, it's been a trying exercise for Steve over the last few hours, shall we say. So anyhow, I got my new audio equipment, but there's another thing that I also got that I bought on Amazon today, and you can see I'm going to change into a view here. I'm going to change into my top view. I got a micro pencil. This is nail polish, by the way, just in case anyone's wondering if it looks like I've smashed my thumb and then poured glitter over it. No, it is nail polish. I got bored the other night when there was nail polish sitting on the dining room table. So this is a micro pencil, and this is apparently really good. I've never used one. This was on Jay's recommendation. I'm guessing that it allows me to get a very large amount of heat in a very, very small place. I imagine these get super, super hot. Spoiler alert, problems happen. Okay, there we go. So anyhow, that's, oh, I must just check something here very quickly. Won't be a tick. Yeah, thought so. One of the annoying things about this software is that when you add comments to the scene, the comments stick to one scene, not to all scenes. And so when I add a comment on there, if I change camera views, the old comment's still sitting on the old scene. I'm going to see if there's a way I can work around that. But anyhow, so anyhow, let us continue. I am going to fire this up and just see what it's like. I'll probably muck around with an old donor board and just see what damage I can do with that. I don't know. Jay, explain to me why I need a micro pencil, if you wouldn't mind, because I have no idea. I bought it on your recommendation. Why do I need it? What's it good for? There's either a millisecond echo or it's just your voice bouncing around the shed. I don't know where the echo would be coming from. You know what it could be? You know what it almost definitely is? It's a slight synchronization issue between these two microphones, I would say. Maybe because it's wireless, they might be slightly out of sync. I'm going to do a little test here. If I turn this microphone off so that we're just running this, can you tell me if that microsecond echo disappears? I'll just be interested to know. I may end up just abandoning this. If this new mic is nice and reliable, I probably don't need any more. Okay, so what's it plug into? 6 pinned in. Are you talking about this little thing? Yeah, it's actually more than 6. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's 8 pinned in. So there we go. You can have a look at that up there. Nice and out of focus. There we go. 8 pinned in. And which matches up the Hacko stations. They all have that same plug. Let's unplug the old one. You can reach into smaller spaces. Okay, we're going to put this one. So this is the reason why we would use a micro pencil. Go easy on the pressure though, as it will bend if you go heavy on it like a regular tip. No wicking. Oh, piffle. Okay. All right. I'm not good at going easy on things. I'm pretty heavy-handed. We all know that. Got my big man hands. Okay. All right. Well, we'll give that a try later. But for the moment, I've actually got a proper job here from a customer, and it is. Let me just. Look at this. I can make it just be on this part of the screen. Oh, it goes up. Okay, that's what I'm doing, and then I'm going to move that down here. There we go. We've got a system here. This is great. There we go. Just learning new things. Learning new things. Okay. I wonder if that'll stay. Dana, hello. Thank you for joining the stream. I really appreciate it. At this particular point in time, I'm just faffing around with this new software and things like that, and, you know, doing things. But I am actually going to start doing some proper stuff. I have Rose Electronics is here. Congratulations. Thank you for joining. New mic sounds awesome. That's what I like to hear. I like to hear that. All right, okay, so the echo is gone, so I think I will basically just abandon using this second microphone. I think at this stage I'm feeling fairly confident about the reliability of this one. I can even see the battery levels over on the receiver over here, which is real nice, because I'm not going to just suddenly end up with no sound. I'll get some sort of warning there, and I'll go orange in that. So this is a MacBook Air. This is Jay from House of Moth. This is his favourite model of computer. Of all the models that Apple has made, he likes the MacBook Air more than any other product. And I don't blame him. They've got a lot going for them. They're really very good computers. I do need my goggles here. Oopsie. All right, so just checking that, keeping an eye on the chat. I didn't actually expect to get many people watching here. I thought I'd be lucky to get like 5 people. So now I actually have to go in and do something interesting. Right, I do have lots of things to do. It's going to be a question of what most of the work that I have here at the moment is problematic stuff. I've got lots and lots and lots of boards with little problems that need to be sorted out. Now, what I'm looking for here at the moment is my pentalobe screwdriver, because this is a Mac, or a Mac of a particular era that uses pentalobes, and I can't bloody find it. It's got to be here somewhere. On the floor, maybe? I get a lot of my tools that end up on the floor. I mean, I'll sort it out one way or the other. I've got lots and lots and lots of backup tools, but oh, that looks like a pentalobe there, actually. Yeah, it is. Okay, so we are going to... yes, so this is from one of my customers. It's a customer that I actually do coding work for, development work for. And what's that one? That's Torx, so we don't want Torx. And I should probably be getting a proper container to put these screws in, like this. I'd go with these sorts of things, these sorts of organisers that we might use for sewing stuff, putting in your buttons and your pins and your needles. They make very good little containers for pulling apart computers. I saw someone the other day, I should just a shout out to the Canadian, what's the site called? What's the channel called? The Canadian something, computer something. He was using ice cube trays for collecting the parts as he was pulling things apart. I thought that's not actually a bad idea, the old ice cube trays. Okay, so Dave, thank you for joining. Thomas Armstrong is here. Hello. Whoopsie. Oh, that's probably not meant to come apart. Never mind. Okay. Jay says he loves the Air because of all the fixing that's involved. Sorry, the chat's moving by fairly quickly at the moment, so I'm not going to scroll back to get that and bring it up on the screen. So yes, I mean, one of the big problems with these Airs, I mean, I'll be honest, there are a lot of things to not like about the Air, but I actually don't mind them. I just find their form factor really pleasing. I've got a little 11-inch one. It's ancient. It's a Core 2 Duo, I think, so it's as slow as molasses, but it's the size is just, it's so convenient. I mean, I know you could just say, oh, why don't you just get an iPad? Well, you know, there are times when I actually want an operating system. I want a proper Mac OS operating system, and that little 10-inch one has got me out of a pickle sometimes. It fits in the glove compartment of my car, and I can be out on holiday somewhere, and I suddenly have to do something, and ping, Florian battery. So it's an aftermarket, so someone's been in here before. Probably me. Probably me. So, the problems that these have, they've got all sorts of problems with dust accumulation and stuff like that. Now this one has been behaving very weirdly, and so I'm probably just going to have a look at it. I do see some dust accumulated here on this side. It'll be interesting to see what's happening on the other side as well. Canadian Computer Collector, thank you for reminding me the name of the channel. I've been having a few giggles listening to his stuff lately. Okay, now I just put that Torx thing away and now I need it back again, because I'm pretty sure it's the one I need for this. Yes, it is. All right, so I'm going to unplug the battery. Oh, yes. There's no little bit of faith no more. Love that. So battery, very important the battery comes undone. And then we're going to start pulling some stuff apart. Come on apart you. There we go. And we'll take out the old solid state device. And we'll whip out the little airport card. And I'll get some tweezers for that. Is this the 820-00165, 2015 to 2017? That's a good question. It is a 820-3437. That's earlier, isn't it? So that's about a, what's it, 2012 or 2013 or something like that, I think, from memory. So it's not a Retina. It's the ones that have these nice, easy to remove batteries, which I like. They're not glued in. I'm not a big fan of glued in batteries. I have to be totally honest with you. Is that me? Sometimes I can see evidence of when I've been in a computer before. Got to check this cable, don't I? This is when Jay always says to me, look at the cable. Yep. Okay. Action Retro. Hello, how are you? Where are we? Got 4 here that I need fixing. Well, right. So just going to whip out this this little motherboard. And so what I generally do with these is leave the fan attached to it. I mean, it has to come off eventually, but... And there's a stupid little screw down here, isn't there? Stupid screw. I'll get back to that one later. Oh, I've got to take that off, don't I? So all of a sudden I'm doing a bit of Rossman tonight. Mind you, he probably doesn't work on these old ones anymore. Wow, there's a lot of dust on this. Much dust. Better keep checking on the chat. I see some Intel headed downvoted. Yes. Well, it was interesting. They downvoted before I even started doing anything. So I don't know. I must have upset someone, but that's okay. It's nice to create a response, whether it be good or bad. Don't really mind. Come on out, you stupid little cables. I hate it. I don't want to disconnect all this stuff. I don't want to take out the power supply board thingy for getting this screw out because I'm lazy. I know. Haven't finished yet. Sorry, Jay's just helping me out here, which he does. And he regularly helps me very, very well. But he's just told me that I've left a screw in, I think. Maybe I haven't. Come on, out you come. There we go. Okay. I think this is coming out now. Out you come. Out you come. There we go. All right. Come on. Come on, you thing. There we go. There we go. I'm caught on something. Oh, yeah. Couple of cables. Got the keyboard, combined keyboard trackpad cable, and I've got the backlit keyboard cable. So forgot those. It's been a long time since I pulled one of these apart, so go easy on me, man. Here's a nice big old display card. A little bit of history there for anyone. I have nowhere left to put this. Nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. I'm not sure what to do. Where am I going to put this? Uh-oh. I might put this in another postcode, so I'm just going to travel to the next suburb and put it over here. Can you hear me outside? I'm outside at the moment. Can you hear me? Okay. Now I need to deal with a problem over here. And that is a problem of huge amounts of things falling down around me. And power supplies, and capacitors. And you know, if I wasn't live streaming, what I'd be doing? I'd be cleaning. But we don't say the C word around here. Okay, I do have spots for these, which is kind of stupid that they're sitting here blocking my way, because I actually have places I can put them. So, which is what I'm going to do right now. And stay there. Whew. Oh, bit of exercise. Nah. 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 Now, I know what you're thinking. I could have done this before I started the stream, couldn't I? Yeah, and you'd be right. I could have. I could have done that instead of cleaning up all my capacitors right when it starts getting good. But I didn't really realise just how bad it had got until things started falling down. Right. Let's move this out of the way now. Nice little ADB keyboard. It's not nice at all, actually. It's probably my least favourite ADB keyboard that Apple ever made. It's awful. It's the Apple design keyboard, and it's the one where the mouse plugs in the middle. Obviously, their intention being that for left or right-handed people, they could decide which side they wanted the wire to come out. And you can run the cable out that way or out that way. Got these little flip-down legs. But doesn't matter how you tart it up. It's still like polishing a turd. Right. Okay, so I have absolutely and totally missed loads of chat while I've been doing all that. Whew. What am I rolling over now? Oh, wires. Cool. Oh my gosh. Okay. What's an MDD? Who said that? Okay, I'm going to have to capture this. I'm watching on the MDD right now. Are you actually able to watch YouTube on an MDD? That's a mirror drive door, by the way, folks. It's a G4 mirror drive door. I've actually been working on one myself, Sean. I've just recently acquired a dual 1.25 gigahertz Firewire 800 MDD. And I have just last night finished setting it up with OS 9 lives and putting 9.22 on one partition, and then I've got 10.4 on another partition, and if I can ever find my 10.5 installed disk, I'm going to stick 10.5 on it as well. Good fun computer. And I have a lot of OS 9 games that I like to play, and let's face it, even though it was never specifically designed to boot into 9.2, if you can get it to boot into 9.2, that is one fast computer running OS 9. Not as fast as yours, Sean, I know that. Sean has souped his up with what is a dual 2 gigahertz, I think. Yours is actually, starting to beat G5 speeds. But anyhow, okay, starting to calm down now. Did I miss a super chat? Was there a super chat? Was there one? Seriously, don't tease me. I don't know. I'm having... Oh, look at this. Look, I see a super chat. Pew! Thank you. Wow. Okay, now I know what a super chat looks like in this software. Cool. I can even star it if I want, so that it can come up in favourites and I can bring it up later on. So now there you go. You get pride of place there. Thank you very much, Dana. You know what you get for that? You get a little bit of this. Thank you. Okay, so it's a very nice fuzzy slideshow. Good on you, Sean. So I'm just looking. Rocket of an MDD, yeah. I wasn't looking in my defense. JJ, I have a 1.42 times 2 MDD and a dual boot 1 gigahertz times 2 MDD. Excellent. Yeah, I picked up two the other day. I picked up a dual 867 Firewire 400 and a dual 1.25 Firewire 800, and I already had, I think it's a 1 gigahertz Firewire 800 single processor. But anyhow, I mean, I don't need any more. I really don't need any more. Exactly the same as what mine started. Yeah, so yeah, no. Look at Jay. Look how sneaky Jay is. Look at this. Oh, he missed it. Look how sneaky person. Okay, anyhow, thank you for the super chat. So, right, so here's our little board. That's our little board. Now this is interesting. So this has not been worked on by me, because if it had been worked on by me, this little white thing here, which is the thing that detects whether this has ever had moisture, this would be either gone or red, because whenever I work on these things, I put them in the ultrasonic cleaner afterwards. And of course, once they're saturated with liquid like that, these little dots, they go bye-bye. So I can say for certain that if I have worked on this, I haven't done any, substantial work on it. But I do see some dust, and let's go and see what we see on the other side. Oh, we see even more dust. Right, well, I think we might have an inspectify of this under the microscope. So here we go, across to the microscope view. I'm going to just pop this in here. In theory, when I go across to the microscope view, you will still be able to see me and the top view. Yes, which you can. And you can also see a great deal of not focus. Okay. Now, we have often commented on this. I've spoken to Jay about this before. When you're working on these boards, these black boards that then have these little probe points on it, these little metallic probe points on it, you get this ghosting. Can you see this ghosting around the edges of those white dots? And that was something that used to give Jay a great deal of grief, and it was one of the reasons why he doesn't live stream. The other reason is because he's a sook. He should live stream. But yeah, so you just have to be aware that when sort of when I'm on these boards, it looks a little bit fuzzy, and that's just because of fuzziness. Wow, there's a lot of green. So green's what we're looking at with these. Green's generally what's going to cause us problems. So far, the green I've seen doesn't look like it is actually damaging green. It will just need to be ultrasonic. I really don't need any more. Yeah, I know. I mean, I honestly do consider that it will be the last MDD I buy. Okay, I have a G4 sawtooth. I wanted one of those. I've got one, a dual 450 megahertz. Oh, that's fine. That's locked away there. I don't have the next one, which is the one that had the four little. Was it the one that had the little four little tunnely type things at the front? I think it was really loud one. I can't remember what they call those ones. Hey GT, thanks for joining. What was? Can someone please remind me the one after the bloody Sawtooth? I know there was the first G4, which was virtually just a glorified G3 with an Ultivec engine. Let's face it. And then they got a bit better with the Sawtooth ones. And then there was the one of the lighter grey colour. And then we had the mirror drive door ones, and it's the lighter grey colour. With the MDD is the one with the 4 holes. So the Quicksilver, yeah. So I don't have a Quicksilver. So if one of those comes my way for super cheap, that's a good one and has some fanciness, I'll probably go with it. Ooh. Looky what we have here. Underneath all of these pubes, we have some nastiness. Now I need to grab a decent pair of tweezers. The tweezers I've got here are rubbish. No, Jay, I haven't bought the ones with the grip yet. But I will, I promise. Next time I do a an Amazon purchase. Let's see if we can get this focused. There we go. So I really don't like the look of this here. Namely this little capacitor here, which looks like, well, actually it's a resistor, I think. Looks like it's about to fall off. Pubes. Pubes. I don't know. Might be okay. But I should probably replace that. And it certainly needs ultrasonic cleaning, but I don't want to clean it yet because at the moment the grime is actually pointing me towards the potential problems. I'm also seeing something over here that I don't want to look at. I really don't want to look at it because it scares me. Gunge. Okay, so I'm going to take you along here. And look at what we've got here. Now, anyone who knows these boards pretty well will know that when you see a square chip like this, that is surrounded by this edge bonding, so this is stuff called edge bonding, this is the SMC, or System Management Controller. And to be quite frank, it's one of the most important things on the computer, other than the CPU. I have replaced a few of these in my time. It's not a fun job because, first of all, you can't buy new ones. So the only way you can replace an SMC is with another SMC off another donor board. And I have some donor boards. I'm pretty sure I even have some donor boards for this one, if I were to need it, if it was damaged. But when you take them off a board, these are a BGA chip, or ball grid array, which means they have the little round solder balls underneath them. And when you take one off another board, you can't reuse the solder balls. So you have to clean them, and then you have to re-ball them. And yes, let's get all the giggles out of the way about, re-balling and nice balls and all that sort of stuff. But anyhow, that's what you have to do. I have done a few in my time successfully. This is a great big glob of funk right here. And, oh, look at that. Wow. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that that's probably not connecting up anymore. Look at it. Time for a scalpel. This is actually turning out quite good. Oh, look at this. Look at this. That picture's actually quite good. Let me just see if I can alter camera effects. Here we are. See if I can alter the look of this one. This is this one here. What controls do I have? Can I alter the gamma? Oh, I can alter the gamma. Oh, I like it. I like it. Just want a little bit more contrast in this one. Okay, so I'm going to need to get my scalpel. I'm going to scrape that up, but I have got a sneaking suspicion that it's basically going from, it's traveling from here, should be traveling from here to here with the probe point in the middle. And I think that probe point is completely rusted through and not letting anything through to the other side. So I need to find my scalpel, which from time to time I lose. Now, don't judge me. Oh, crap. Something just fell off the desk. I'm finding all my tweezers now. This is good. Oh, I found my other pair of glasses. That's awesome. So yeah, I mean, look, if I cleaned the place up too much, I'd stop getting all those angry comments from people saying your workshop's messy. So I've got to keep it reasonably messy so that I can keep getting those OCD people upset, so they can then keep giving me their angry messages. Oh, hello, Kate. Thank you for joining. Okay. All right. Okay. Right. So I mean, this is just awful. Now, stranger things have happened. There could still be continuity here, but I am going to test it. Hope that doesn't go anywhere else. Oopsie. One good thing about finding this is that when you have a computer that's got a problem and you see something like this, you can say, well, I think I know why it has a problem. When you have a computer that has a problem and then you open it up and can't find anything wrong with it, it's very frustrating. Let's just have a look here. Beep, beep, beep. No beep. Okay, we're going to need to run a little trace across there, and what I may also need to do, it happens sometimes, but sometimes these little probe points are also a via from one layer to another. And there can be instances where underneath these probe points there is a little teeny weeny little wire that'll take it to another layer on the board. Now the way that I'm going to find that out is I'm going to use a board view and a board view software which will allow me to pinpoint that spot and find out where it's supposed to go. And then I can check and see what's going on with that. Now this is... Oh crap! I haven't got my software on this. I'm gonna have to download it. What a pain. So this is an 820-3437B. Anyone who's ever worked on these more modern Macs, they all start with 820. So, and this is the number you're looking for. Whenever you're wanting to work on these boards, and you might say to someone, "Oh, can you give us the board number?" And they'll go, "Oh, it's a A1237 or it's a 2011 MacBook Pro or something like that." And it's like, I need this number because sometimes you can have two different numbers for the same model of Mac. So he now knows an 820-3437. So I'm going to just go in and dig up what I need. I need, what's that called? Open board view. That's the first thing I need to do. So let me just grab that. Talk amongst yourselves while I find that. Open board view. One thing I do like about working on these modern Macs is when I do repairs like this, I can usually charge more for them than I can for a vintage Mac. The vintage Macs are a bit of a novelty and people are not paying that much for them. But when they're talking about a model like this, where it might be someone's daily driver, it might be something they use every day, the replacement cost might be, hundreds of dollars, you can then sort of, charge them a reasonable amount of money to repair it. Okay, what computer did this come out of? It's a MacBook Air GT. So I probably should put some sort of little text thing overlay on here. I know I can do them. I've just never done one before. Ooh, what have I done? Oh no, I know what I've done. That's right, two things happened at the same time. It freaked me out. I had a conniption. Right. Oh, hang on. There we go. Oh, what's he done? Jay's helping me out here. Oh, look at that. He's sent it to me. I'm pretty sure I've got that one. Thank you, though. It was open board view I don't have. I think I have all of my boards here on Dropbox. I haven't got Dropbox installed on this. Thank you, Jay. I appreciate that because I don't have Dropbox installed on this. So he's just sent me the board view for this, which I can tell you, I really wish we had board views for all the old vintage Macs. I am going to have to get Dropbox loaded on this at some stage, because that gives me access to all of my other board views, because I keep them all on a Dropbox folder thingy. Right, so I'm not looking at the chat just at this particular moment, so if you're sort of screaming something at me, I apologise. Awesome. So, Jay, just off the top of your head, what year model is this I'm looking at? I think it's a 2012, or I think it's a 2012, but I could be wrong. Could be a 2013. Oh, cannot be open because it's from an unidentified developer. How about this? Stuff it. Okay, now got that open and open and open board view, like access to your photos. It's nice. Okay, let's go here to, where did I put it? I think I put it just on the, did I put it on the desktop? Nope. Put it on the main hard drive. Where did I put it? Riddle me that. Oh, put it in downloads. I put it in a fairly logical place. Right. Okay. In a moment. Everything will be fine. Okay. I've got it open. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you. Right. Now I was gonna put a little thingy on here, wasn't I? I was gonna say repairing a 13-inch MacBook Air. And let's see if I can plonk this on here. Ooh, look at that. How about I put it up there? Repairing a 13-inch MacBook Air. And I'll put that there, and then everything will be fine. Okay, all right. How's that look? Does that look all pretty? Yeah. So anyhow, anyone who's joining recently, who's just joined this, I am using new streaming software. I'm using something called Ecamm Live. So far, I'm really happy with the way it works. It has lots of fantastic features. And so yeah, pretty pleased with it all in all. Just a quick little reminder to anyone who's watching to
smash that like button.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Let's go back into the microscope view here, and let's bring up this. Right, I've got to just get my orientation right here. Which way around is it? That way? That way? No, I've got to flip the board. It's that way? That way? No, I was on the other side, wasn't it? Yeah, it was just near the SMC. So, back on the other side, SMC, here we go. Everyone's happy. Wow, maybe not everyone. Right, so what I want to do is I want to find out a little bit about this little guy coming out here, and he is that guy. So all right, okay, so as far as I can see, you're not looking at what I'm looking at, so I'm just talking about stuff that you can't see. But what I can tell you is that this here goes down to pin 7 of the SMC, and then it travels up to a couple of these resistors, or resistor and a capacitor. So it goes to, well, actually there's nothing there. No stuff, they call that. It goes to pin 1 of that there, and it goes to pin 2 of that there. So we can just test that theory now. I should set up a microphone just for the multimeter, shouldn't I? So that when it goes beep, you can hear it. So let's just check that. We're going to test from, sorry about the blurry. I'm going to go from, oh God, how grubby is that? Go from there to there and there. Cool. All right, but of course we're not going from here to here, So we have a problem. Now, this is, what is it? SMC CPU VR Adjust iSense. Where's Jay? Can you tell me what SMC CPU VR Adjust iSense means? I'm referring to Jay because he repairs a lot more of these than I do. Right, so we're going to be doing our little wee trace repair here. So, oh, I get to use my micro pencil. Show us your micro pencil. I've got it just floating around here without any... yeah, okay, there we go. Right, so this is the first time I've ever used this micro pencil. And what makes it a micro pencil? It's very small. See? Look. Wee. Wee. And we are going to need to get a little bit of solder on this. I'm going to need some of the old Fluxaroonie. Plonk it on there. And that's a nice little modicum of flux. And then I'm going to get some of this fresh solder and I'm going to just tidy this up a little bit. For those who might have only watched my vintage streams, I just should mention, oh, I like the way this gets the heat there. Geez, for such a small thing, it certainly gets some heat out, doesn't it? Far out. Oh, I'm so impressed. So, anyone who's watched me do it, do you reckon I should remove that edge bonding? This one here, just this one here. Give me a little bit more room to move. A little bit more wiggle room. Board is ruined. It's ruined. Ruined. Sorry, a little Family Guy joke there. Now, I need my really fine wire for this one. So this is my 40 AWG. It's very, very, very thin. It's like as thin as hair sort of thing, I'd say. Thereabouts, maybe even a little thinner. I suppose it depends whose hair, doesn't it? But that's what I'm going to use to create that bridge between those two. Micro pencil looks like a... Yeah, I know. I mean, look, we're zoomed in a long way here. I mean, just to give you some sort of sense of scale, I'm just going to bring my finger in. That's my finger. That's probably not a very good one. The finger's way too big. What can I use? How about the tip of a pencil? It's not sharp, but there's a tip of a pencil. It's blunt, but it's still a tip of a pencil. What, ruined? Did he really? Steal that from Throw Mum from the Truck? I did not know that. So yes, we are working with very, very small stuff here, but that's what we do. So, get Kai to make some board views. Well, we don't need that for this one. I would like Kai to make board views for every other computer that I work on, but yes, I won't expect him to do it for this one. You imagine doing one of these? I mean, the number of layers these things have. Or maybe they only have... Oh, I don't know how many layers they have. Okay, so let's start. I'm going to get some of this wire, snip off a little bit. Yeah, so anyhow, I just wanted to mention that for those that weren't aware, I actually did a lot of my original kind of soldering refinement skills over the years on these sorts of Macs, this sort of era. It does sort of make working on those bigger Macs, geez, that's a lot of solder, makes working on those bigger Macs a lot easier once you've had some experience working on Macs like this. One of the things I do love about working on these is the boards are so small and so easy to move, and there's a point where they get too small, where if you're working on, say, a what are those new sort of what are those new Macs that I'm not even sure what they're called. They're just like MacBooks or something, or is they MacBook Air? I'm not sure, but they're really new ones, and they have the tiniest motherboards on them. They're like the size of a phone board. They're absolutely minuscule. So Right, there we go. Let's just clean that up and have a look, and we'll test it with our multimeter and see that we've restored some continuity there. Get myself a little Q-tip. 12-inch MacBook for the last few generations, MacBook Air, iPhones with a microscope like this, they suck to work on. Yeah, so you kind of need to have something to hold the boards in if you're going to be working on those, because they are just so ridiculously small. I did have one of those come my way once. Someone asked if I could repair it, but one of the problems I had with it was a model that just didn't, no board view seemed to exist for it. No board view, no schematic. And that just made it really, really difficult. My God, these Q-tips are rubbish. That made it really, really difficult for me to figure out so, you know, there were some components that needed to be replaced because it was water damaged, and that had actually caused a short. So there were some parts that were burned. And it's like, you know, sort of, there was just no way I could repair it because I couldn't know what components needed to be replaced. I couldn't get hold of donor boards, and I couldn't get hold of the schematic. So I kind of had to send it back and say, look, you know, there's nothing I can do about this. I'm sorry. Okay, we have restored continuity. So that is the worst one I've found so far. And we've still got plenty of green, but most of this stuff will probably just get fixed up with a good ultrasonic clean. But we will keep searching because that's what we do. Don't like the look of that. Back to the board view. Okay, just keeping an eye on the chat here, folks, because I am a little bit engrossed in this at the moment. I must apologise. Apologise for my bellicosity. So I just want to... We've got some more green up here. I love that green. 1, 2, 3, and then that one down. So let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, that one down. So that's there. Where's that going to? That one is also going up to a probe point up here. Let's just check and make sure that it does. Whoopsie. Right. So this should go to there, I think. Is that the one? Nope, not that one. That one. That one? Nope. It's just pointing to something that I can't... Oh, it's on the other side of the board. Son of a gun. Okay, so I've got to check and see if this goes to the other side of the board. I'm just really worried about it, that's all. Is it the other side of the board? It's not the other side of the board. Are you messing with me? Messing. Goes to pin 44. It goes to pin 3 of this thing. God. So stupid. Hang on. You know what? I think we're fine. I say that with all the confidence of someone who has no confidence at all. It's pointing here to a probe point that I just don't see on the board. It's not right. Sorry. Is that it? There's there, that's there, that's there. So it's meant to be there. Well, it's not there. So it's kind of a little bit difficult. So it's meant to be going to pin 3 of this thing here. see if I can. Okay, we can potentially scrapey, just enough for me to get a reading. I need to get new probes. These used to be sharp. Yep, we've got continuity there, so it's good. I'm happy about that. Okay, so the problem with this board, as in, are you talking about what are the physical problems with this board, or why did this thing get sent to me in the first place? I will answer both questions. Why did this get sent to me in the first place? It was doing weird things, sporadic behaviour, switching on, and switching off when it shouldn't, and sort of not switching on properly, and just really weird, bonkers behaviour. I had a little play with it before, and it was just doing some kind of odd stuff. So the person sent it to me, and knowing what I know about these, generally what I will always be looking for with these is moisture damage, and that doesn't necessarily mean, oh, this thing has been dropped in the water. You can see that what's happened is we've had this accumulation of dust in these areas, and the dust has held on to moisture, depending on where these things have been stored, and it has then caused corrosion underneath it, and it's really, really common on these MacBook Airs. I mean, like, I see it all the time. As in, it's actually a really good way to get a cheap MacBook Air sometimes. You buy busted MacBook Airs online, and then you find these problems, and you go in and fix them, and then you walk away going, yay, I've got a cheap MacBook Air. The downside is, of course, you buy these things on eBay with people saying, MacBook Air not working. You go, oh, sweet, okay, I'm going to go and fix this. You grab it, and you open it up, and you realise someone else has already had a go and hacked it to death inside. And that has happened to me many times before. Got a solder ball on U3710 pin 1. U3710. U3710. Oops. U3710. Ping, ping, ping. Where are you? Why aren't you going to use 3710? There he is. Okay, U3710, pin 1. Pin 1. Let's have a look. So, Jay is pointing to this little guy. And you know what? That is a solder ball. It looks like there's one here too. Yep. 2 little solder balls. Thank you to Apple Manufacturing for that one. So we've definitely found an area where we've had a break in continuity, okay? And that could, of course, well, that can do all sorts of things. I mean, that can, give us sporadic behavior. That can make a computer completely and totally not work. Sometimes it can do absolutely nothing. But anything coming out of the SMC, I'd be wary of. I'm just going to keep hunting for anything that looks gross. I've got a kind of a half idea of replacing a couple of these components that I felt looked a little bit ugly. The way the dust accumulates around this thing here. Well, obviously the static electricity or whatever created by these things, and the dust just hangs onto it. Got some more green here. We don't like green. Green is corroding copper. So, oh look, there's another solder ball. Look at that. Look at that. Okay. Keep hunting. Keep hunting. Keep hunting. I need to do my Lewis Rossman impression. I don't do a Lewis Rossman impression, I'm sorry. So one of the things you'll notice with these newer Macs compared to the old Macs is there's absolutely nothing written on the board. Nothing. No labels, no screen printing, nothing at all. Just components. And that's why something like a board view is so essential. Because, nothing. Right. Right, let's flip him over on the other side. I am going to have to take the heatsink off because I'm going to have to get under the CPU. Or around the CPU anyway. I've got these, I don't need this paper towel here anymore. Why is it still here? That was to protect the outside of the case. I don't care what happens to the board. Just checking this. I've had a few MacBook Air 13s where the pins on the other side of this, what is this? This is an inductor, I guess, a coil. They crack. And then these things here just make occasional contact and it makes the screen come off and on. And I've had that happen to 2 of them before, believe it or not. So I thought I would just check it. Another solder ball. Are any of these solder balls getting you triggered, Jay? Jay has an unhappy history with solder balls. But I'm not sure if he's ready to talk about it. Here's our lovely little heat sink. I'm going to whip him off so that I can get a better look. I'm going to have to obviously get rid of the fan. The fan's still screwed in. Oh, yeah, excuse me. Catching anything with those eagle eyes there, Jay, in terms of stuff that I may have missed? Always welcome his eagle eye. Here's a fan. Now, there is a person out there who I've mentioned before, Lewis Rossman, who does these. And he often gets hold of ones that are completely dead. And so his kind of start and finish with those is what he refers to as fan spin. So in other words, he sort of gets them working. Yeah, this is not, I've never removed this. This is the original, what do you call it? Thermal paste. All right. Yes. So he has these ones that don't work, and then he goes in and makes them work. You know, plugs them in, fan spins. Okay, that's fixed. Now, of course, this one it's not the case. The fan spins on this. The only way I'm going to be able to test this is actually by firing it up. I'm not going to do that until I ultrasonically clean it. So I won't necessarily be testing this today because, to be honest, I can plug it in and see the fan spin, and we can go yay. But it was doing that before, so you know. Off to bed. Good night, Dana. Thank you for joining. I do appreciate it. I know it's very late over there on the East Coast. So, what is it? It's 2. So that makes it, what? Midnight? 20 past 12? Does that sound right? Right. Now, what are we going to do about this black thing around the outside? Do I just rip it off and throw it away? Do I leave it on for the ultrasonic cleaning? Or do I rip it off and try and put it back on again after ultrasonic cleaning? Oh, yes, of course, Paul Daniels works on these as well. Of course, I've probably got a closer affinity to Paul Daniels, I guess, because he is also Australian. I'll start talking like this. Okay. Okay, well, I'm going to rip it off. Stuff it. I don't want it. Came off really cleanly. They don't normally come off that cleanly. That's nice. Thermal paste. Right, let's just have a look around here. I mean, it doesn't look too bad just from the glance-a-rooney that I had. Okay. Yes, so just Adam McGee, I would say this sort of stuff, I mean, you've just got no choice but to have a microscope for this sort of work. It's you can't really attempt this stuff with the nude eye. Well, this side of the board isn't too bad. What we've got here is what's referred to... Oh, we're not looking at the microscope. Sorry, guys. Sorry. There we go. See, I don't like the way the comment follows the comment follows the scene. Don't like it. Don't like it. So anyhow, what we're looking at here is a thing called a JTAG. This is a diagnostic tool. So in other words, you can basically put a connector on that and then you can get readings from all over the board. It's something that Apple theoretically use. I don't know that they do use it, but they probably use it maybe at early stages of manufacturing to make sure that everything's been built properly. One of the really funny things about this is if you end up with any sort of corrosion or liquid damage around this area, this is wired in to all of the, what do you call it, critical systems of the device. So this is almost like, I mean, this is like an Achilles heel. You know, anything goes wrong with this JTAG and you've got problems going that can go potentially to any other place on the board. And so I do know some people that like to remove the JTAG to potentially remove any chance of it causing a problem, because once again, it's in the firing line of the dust. It's up here in this dust zone. So, you know, a few people have said, piss it off, get rid of the JTAG. But, you know, I'm not gonna. It can stay in all its J goodness. All right, well, I haven't found anything as bad as that. I mean, we've got plenty of instances of green, but that other one was, I think, the only one we've seen where we've really got some quite significant rust. Oh, that's rusty. Now, obviously, there's no component here, but I still don't want to be in a situation where I potentially, have something that might be a short, or it might create a. It might actually join something else up. There might be a via under that, which is some other important thing, but I don't think so. Because see, for that goes from there to there. Well, it's no stuff there as well, so it's doing nothing. So it probably doesn't matter, that one. Hiss or nothing. This little guy here, for anyone, I think it's this guy. No, it's not that guy. Where is it? There's one really important component on these. Several, actually, but there's one. I think is it that one? I think it's that one. Could be wrong. I'm pretty sure it's that one. That's the what do you call it? The firmware thingy, the BIOS right there. And if you use hardware, what is it? The hardware password, password on the hardware of these, that's where it gets stored. So there is actually a way that if you've got one that's hardware locked, like let's say some, yucky person has stolen one of these and it's password protected and they can't get into the computer, you can actually take these off, you can flash them, or you pull the data out of them, and then you make a couple little changes to the data and then you put it back in again. So you re-flash these and you can unpassword protect them. I had to do it once, and no, it wasn't with a stolen one, but I did have to do it once. This is where I was saying before, I don't like the look of these components, the blackness on the edge of that, and this little guy here. So I'm sort of feeling like I might replace these two if I've got a spare donor for this one. So once again, this is a 3437. Let's have a look at the donor boards. What do we got here? No, okay. No T1 chip in these. These are too old, so yeah. Where are all my bloody donors? Here they are. Here's some anyway. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. I need my goggles on for this. 3437. Yay! I think I might have another one here too. 3437. Always good to have a few on standby because often these parts have already been taken. So I've got 3 3437 donors here, which is nice. Good to have some spares. And I'll show you something exciting on one of them. It's like, oh, I wonder what's wrong with this one. That might be it. Here's the silicon chip there inside. We're not supposed to be able to see that. Very much not supposed to be able to see it. Pretty cool, eh? Ooh. That's the most my microscope will magnify to, and as you can see, it really doesn't pick up much in the way of what you can see on that chip. But anyhow, that's exposed and definitely should not be. So let's go back and see if I can find these components I didn't like the look of, because I've just completely and totally forgotten where they were. Anyone? Was that them? That was them, wasn't it? It's those two. Okay, so have I got them here? That looks just as bad, if not worse, than the other one. That's not too bad. That's a reasonable donor, I think. All right, so now we're going to get the hot air. We're going to do the hot airy type stuff. Going to whip a few of these away. Just 2 of these, and then we're going to drag a couple of components across from the other board. So, and then after that, I think I will probably drop this one in the cleaner, and we'll hopefully have fixed it. Good night, Dave. Thank you for joining. My Mac S. Oh, Toby, I'm going to put you up on the screen. You deserve a little bit of sympathy here. My Mac SC CRT broke. I'm very sad. The little nip at the back broke off. No more vacuum. You are not the first person this has happened to, and I can even tell you it's happened to me. I did it a long time ago. It was back in the 1990s or late 80s or early 90s I did it. I was doing a RAM upgrade for someone, and it was the first time I'd done an SC, I think with the jumper or something like that, I can't remember, but I just couldn't get it to recognise the RAM that I was putting in. Oh, what's going on? And I was opening and closing and opening and closing and opening and closing, and then one of the times I just ripped off that, I just snapped it and nipple pinchy. So when that happens, one of the good things you have to keep in mind is that the CRT is the same as the CRT in a Mac Classic, a Mac Classic 2, a Mac Plus at 128K, 512K, 512KE, SE30. There are lots and lots of different computers all using the same CRT. And there are plenty of Mac Classics out there that have been bombed by a battery, and you may well be able to get a replacement CRT from one that's maybe copped some real bad damage. So what God, this micro pencil's awesome. Jay, why didn't I buy one of these ages ago? What I would recommend is just hunting around, seeing if you can find someone who's maybe got a Classic or a Classic 2 that has been killed by a battery, and then you can get hold of a fresh one. Just trying to get some solder on these. So I never listen to you, which is why. Yeah, that's fair enough. So anyhow, the only thing you need to keep in mind is that when you are replacing that CRT, this is still going to TurboQ. I also have a Mac Classic that is in like perfect condition, which I'll probably keep that. Okay. So under those circumstances, see if you can find a dead Classic or something like that. More likely to be able to find a dead Classic or a Classic 2 because they have a much higher likelihood of battery explosion. And what you do is they are not exactly the same in terms of the yoke on the back. So you've got the CRT itself, which is just the glass piece, and then you've got the yoke on the back, and that's the bit that has that coily bit that wraps around the neck. And you have to swap the yoke over from the Classic, so if you have a Classic. So the ones that are compatible, I believe the SE and SE30 yoke are the same, but if you are changing it from a Classic 2 or a Plus or 128K, you'll need to swap the yoke over. So you take the yoke off, there's a little screw that you undo which loosens a cuff. You take that yoke off the SE CRT that you've broken, and then you take the yoke off the other one and you put your yoke onto the other CRT. If you're wanting to do something a little bit interesting or unusual, believe it or not, you can even use a green screen from the Macintosh Apple IIc green screen monitor that you could buy. It was a little 9-inch screen. It's the same size as just a green screen. And so if you're wanting to do something really interesting, you can give your SE a green screen with one of those. Having said that, they're bloody expensive, so you probably won't be able to find one. But anyhow, there are some adjustments that need to be done if you swap the yoke over, but if it is something you're planning to do, what I would recommend is grabbing the Macintosh Repair and Upgrade Secrets by Larry Pina. I think he explains all these processes. You will find that in PDF form on the interwebs somewhere. I used a CRT for another TC monitor. Yep, that's it's interesting, isn't it? I mean, it's sort of I'm not sure it's what I would want to do, but I can understand people doing it. It does create quite a novelty factor. So just replacing two of these components that I just felt were a little bit on the yucky side. Once I've done all this, I'm going to clean it in the ultrasonic, and then when it comes out from the ultrasonic, I'll then use some UV solder mask to protect some of these repairs that I've done. So I'm going to plonk some flux on here, and now we're going to do the magic of replacing these components with some new ones. So here's my board that I'm going to take those components off. I'm going to do them one at a time. Some clever clogs are able to do them two at a time, but I'm a little bit out of practice on these ones. I'm going to start with a little one. It's a resistor down here. This is lead-free solder on these newer Macs, so these do sometimes take a little longer to come unsoldered. Let's take that away. Let's now bring it down on that, and I'm going to put this down until the solder melts. Okay, I'm going to let it harden, take it away. Now you might look at that and you go, that is a really lousy piece of work there, Bruce. That's really not a good joint at all. How dare you? Well, it's going to neaten up later on, so don't worry about it. You can relax, just have a couple of drinks, wind down. Feel the hate flow through you. No, that's the complete opposite. That's the second component. Once again, we're gonna, I'm gonna focus the thingy. Now put this down onto those blobs of solder. Once that solder melts, grabs onto this component, I wait till it hardens and then I let go of it. Now, then I put some flux on it, I put some heat, and the surface tension of the solder is going to theoretically just pull those components into a nice, happy position, and I won't need to do anything else. There we go. Let's have a bit of a close-up, and I might even focus it for you if I'm feeling in a good mood. It's not beautiful, it's not magnificent, but it's all right. I might just flux it a bit more and hit it with the pencil. Here's my pencil. There we go. There we go. Now that was, oh, you didn't see any of that. Sorry about that. This is what it looks like now. Okay, so two components I replaced were this one here, this big capacitor here, and this little resistor, little black one right next to it. Okay, so they're now replaced with ones off a donor board. I'm feeling pretty confident about this board now. I think all it needs is a good old ultrasonic clean. And just a recap for anyone who might have joined late, the other thing that I did on this was repair a little broken trace coming out of the SMC there. That's a little broken trace there. So this was a probe point which is completely rusted through, so I've just jumped across it from there to there. And we have checked that the continuity has been restored, so we're all fine. Any of these sort of damage around the SMC is, you know, is almost likely going to cause problems. Another thing I'll probably do with this, I'll have a look at the trackpad cable. This is something that my friend Jay always tells me to do. Check the trackpad cable. Okay, let's go to the top view. There's this. This is all ready for the ultrasonic. I can close this one. There we go. I can take you off the screen now. Yeah, sorry. When I get a little bit... when I get caught up in things, I forget. Right, so yes. All right, okay, what do we got here? All right, yes, here we are. That's all good to go. Then what we're going to do is we're going to grab the computer, which I put outside. So I'm just going to go outside, won't be a second. Excuse me. Can you get out of the way? Thank you. Here it is. And I'm going to take the battery off and I'm going to have a little look at the cable going to the trackpad. This is a common problem Jay tells me about all the time. Corrosion around there. Be careful. Look out for it. Do the right thing. Do what you have to do. All right. I have a lot of trouble finding good quality replacement batteries for these. I used to buy these Fluorion ones and I've always been very happy with them, but I can't seem to get the Fluorion anymore. I don't know why. You can always find plenty of them on eBay, and for not much money, but most of them are garbage. You know, you're not likely to get more than a few months out of them. So I generally have been buying them from iFixit these days, but they're a little bit on the exy side. They're a bit pricey, so you know, and that. Oh, by the way, have I told you lately to
Smash that like button.
If I haven't, can you please do it? Thank you. It's all this fancy new stuff that I've got going on here. All right, so around here is where we have a chance of corrosion. I hate doing this because this cable is so bloody hard to... Gonna flip this up underneath here. Flip it. Flip it. Thank you. Then I can take that out. Then let's go and have a look at this. We'll have a look at it under the microscope, eh? Looks pretty darn tidy, actually, other than where I just flicked that bit of plastic off before. Okay, so I'm not feeling concerned about that. It's always good to check. It's doing our due diligence. But I think we're all pretty good. Okay, so Jay, he said that iFixit is his go-to as well. So, yep, that's good to know. I mean, I guess the main thing with it is that they put their name to it. If you're going to have problems, you will get a refund or replacement quite easily. I mean, I've had batteries where you've bought them on eBay, or sometimes I've had computers I've repaired that have got eBay batteries in them, and they're light as a feather. You know, you just feel them. It's like there's just not as much in this battery as there was in the original. Did I get it? I got it. Good. Stereo pad connector. There we go. Okay, that's back down. Let's just have a quick look at this one as well. I'm not even going to bother changing scene. I don't have a fancy foot control like, what's his name? Mr. Daniels. Okay. All right, well, I think we're all good to go. So I'm probably going to finish the stream now. This is my board, all ready for ultrasonic cleaning. So we did some repair around here, and we did some repair around here. We did see a fair bit of green and dust and stuff all over the thing. So a good clean will get rid of a lot of that. And I'm feeling pretty confident that after this is going to work back to normal. So it was never really my intention for this one to be a great big long one. So anyone who is planning to sort of settle down for a night's worth of entertainment, I do apologise. This was, as I mentioned, just an opportunity for me to try out the new audio equipment that I'm using at the moment. I hope everyone liked the sound. Try out the new live streaming software. I hope all the pictures are looking good. I'll go and examine all this stuff a little bit later on. A couple of little things that I need to tweak here and there to get this perfect for me in the future, but I'm feeling pretty darn pleased about it. So all right, thank you. Oh, come on, no test. I can't test it. I told you. I'm not going to put the whole thing together, only to then have to just pull it apart again and put it in the ultrasonic cleaner. And I mean, I can just plug it in and I can connect it up and see the fan spin, but it did that before anyway. The fan spin did before I actually started working on it, so it's not really a fair test. So I have to clean it and then put it back together and then fire it up and then run all the Apple hardware service ASD files and stuff on it and things like that. I think this one still has an ASD. I think it's still young enough. Hope so. So all right, thank you again to everyone, and I hope to see you at the next stream. Thank you for keeping me company, and I shall see you hopefully at the next one. Bye.